Sebastian Maniscalco in studio here on Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. What's going on, man?
What is going on? Just flew in and I'm in New York City.
Yeah. yeah, you are.
Are you doing a gig or are you just promoting?
I am doing Colbert tomorrow for the
Okay.
first time. So I got a special right now on Showtime that's airing, and just doing a bunch of promotion.
How long since I haven't seen you in years.
I was just
man.
thinking about that as you walk by. I haven't seen you. By the way, you look great.
Thank you.
I didn't know you lost all this weight. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
Since maybe the Dice Clay years.
And that's got to be 2004 maybe, since we did a gig together?
Yeah, I didn't know. We were in Vegas together, and you and Jim had opened up for him multiple times prior to me doing it. So I didn't know the whole Dice thing of like you go to the mall.
Oh, so you had to do the whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't. You go shopping.
Yeah.
Like I'm in Vegas with Dice, and I'm like, this is gonna be great. We're gonna go to the pool. We're gonna go to nightclubs, and he's like, no, we're gonna go shop for couches. I'm like, what? So yeah.
It's very disappointing, isn't it?
And didn't he make you buy like XL hoodies to match his?
He's got the weirdest idea of friendship. He's such an odd guy. I love him. Like, he changed my life. Oh, yeah. But how long did you tour with him for?
2 years, and we would do this XL. Like we would go to Harley Davidson. That would be his spot, and he'd just go, take it. I get the pro deal.
That's right, the pro deal.
You remember the pro deal?
I certainly do. Yeah, Dice would just go in there and steal.
He would. He
Guy's worth
just.
$10 million. He's just stealing fucking hoodies.
So what did you do? You just go in the store, you put it on, you walk out.
I wouldn't do it.
I didn't do it. I said, Dice, I can't do this. So we had a lot of good times together.
Yeah, he's a fun guy, man.
Yeah.
He's a really fun dude.
Doesn't he love sweets?
You ever go to a candy store with him?
Oh man. Go to Kansas, we'll go work out, and then we go get a Slurpee. Should we be drinking like a protein shake? So,
I think the best stories, too, are that he goes into open houses and just runs up and down the steps and shit. I mean, it's just crazy. But this is what happens when you don't drink. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not on the road drinking, what else are you going to do?
Right.
You got to find other shit to make you happy and make you feel good about.
Ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he would do that. You'd work out, and this is before I worked out, and he would have fucking Kenny or Happy Face, and they would have to have a giant Starbucks with the whipped cream and the extra mocha chips. He would fucking extra mocha. He's really draining, and he would have this giant chocolate treat afterwards.
But any calories he burned working out, he would just immediately get them back.
An ad. You can't work out and have a fucking 1,800 calorie beverage. But he was a fun guy, man. And you learned the crowd. How did they treat you? The audiences. I always had decent success with them.
It was tough. It was one of those things where I got actually thrown off a little bit, where I ended my set early and I came off, and he wasn't happy at all. He's like, "What are you doing? No matter how bad it's going, you finish your time." So it was like,
Why didn't they like you?
He wasn't Dice.
It wasn't nice. Yeah. It was. I got out there, and it was a hostile crowd. They wanted to see him, and it threw my act off and timing off. And I got off a little bit early, and he set me straight. Which I learned, like I said, I learned a lot. Working with him and his crowds and touring with him. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
When did you start to get established to the point? Because I was watching your Comedians in Cars with Seinfeld last night, and like just listening to Jerry talk about the fact that you're one of, if not his favorite comedian. Like he goes to you when he wants to laugh. Like at what point did that stuff start to happen for you?
I don't know. I mean, I met Jerry about a year and a half ago at Gotham Comedy Club in here in New York City. We became fast friends, and asked me to do the show. And yeah, I'd say about maybe 2 years ago, things started happening. I've been doing it since 1998, and just kind of working in the clubs and working my act out, and doing stand up. And I guess about 2 years ago, things started to kind of kick in, I guess.
Sebastian really has his own audience, though. Like they're not necessarily even just comedy fans; they're fans of his. It's crazy. But I was just telling him that the ex-detectives that we have that work security here.
Yeah.
Last night they were when I did Kreischer on Mass. They all come over and they're like, "You know who's fucking coming in tomorrow, right?" Sebastian Maniscalco's going to be here. I'm going to try to meet him. And I'm like, they didn't know who Kreischer was. They don't know who all these comics are, but they're fucking crazy about him.
How did you respond to that? Like after all these years of just club, and just trying when you kind of blow up.
It was the Showtime special, right? The first one that really began it.
Yeah, that Showtime special definitely, got the ball rolling. People started to share my comedy amongst their friends. I have a big Italian following, so it'd be like a couple would come, and then they would bring their parents, and then they would bring the neighborhood. So, they'd just get a swell of people starting to come to the show because they're relating to the family upbringing, immigrant background, and it was very familiar to people. So I guess that part of the comedy community was a little bit underserved as far as like family and stuff like that. Not that I'm the only guy talking about family, but in that sense of being very specific yet very broad.
But you're also clean too, so people can bring you can bring your parents like that. And you got a guy like Gaffigan too who appeals to that, where you can bring whoever you want. You're
Regan
like, I'm not
does
going
it
to
too.
ruin this relationship. Yeah.
But also, I think there's people that like Sebastian that they think the world's a little screwed up, but they don't know exactly how to articulate it. You know what I mean? Like they feel like they did some things right, and now they look at the world and they don't get it. That's what they get out of him, I think. I think they feel that he's saying what they wish they could say.
Do you think that's right?
Yeah, it's observational.
Or do you not think about it too much?
I don't even think about it.
Right.
When you articulate it like that, I guess you're right. I mean, it's just observational, looking at the world like we all do, and kind of reporting the news on stage and saying it in a way that I don't know. I tend to do a lot of physical movement too, so I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just a lot of things that I never really thought about, but. It's nice to have the police department on your side.
Especially those guys, because you get away with murder. But how did that? Were you working clean when you opened for Dice?
Yeah, I'd swear, here and there, but it's, I'm not talking about a lot of sexual activity or anything like that. It's just kind of, basic. Hey, I went to Home Depot and this is what I saw, or my wife is doing X, Y, and Z.
When you're touring with Dice and you see what Dice is doing, and then these fans are being hostile, is there a part of you that's like, oh man, I gotta have dirtier stuff in my act? This is what people want. What I'm doing isn't what people want.
No, I mean, no, I didn't do that. I said, this is my act. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I didn't adjust it to the environment. I said, this is what I think is funny.
Right.
And if these people think it's funny, that's great. But that one night, I think it was in a casino in Washington, they weren't having it.
They didn't like it.
Well, there's no way to adjust your act from like Home Depot and family to I'm gonna come on your face and look like you put your head into a frozen yogurt machine. Dice really is a genius.
Yeah, he told me. He told me he's a genius.
That's a funny fucking
Yeah,
line.
he's
Oh, yeah, that's right.
amazing.
You interviewed him. Yeah,
Yeah, a couple times, and he's very well aware like that wordplay. He loves that shit.
Dude, that when he said that put your head into a fucking it's like a frozen yogurt machine, I'm like, gee, what a brilliant way. He always finds a new way to be filthier.
Yeah.
And it's always different.
Do you take your openers out shopping with you because that's the way you came up?
You know what? I'm not a big social guy.
Yeah.
On the road.
You don't need the entourage.
No,
Yeah.
I don't bring a guy. I use kind of like a local guy.
Oh, you
in that
do?
City. Yeah.
Saves you money too, because you don't have to put him in a hotel and a fucking airfare and
Yeah,
buy their dinner. Smart. Yeah. Sebastian's smart. I'm a dope.
No, I get that. Like bringing a guy who you might get along with or a girl you might get along with. I get that, but I don't know. When I'm on the road, I can tend to be a little bit of a loner and not want to have to hang out with somebody for lunch or anything like that. And
What do you do? Are you with your wife, or do you travel by yourself, or with your manager?
My wife and myself. So my wife will come to the New Yorks, the Miamis of the world, and we'll enjoy the city. And
Not
then,
the Akrons.
Yeah. So I got married about 3 years ago. So my wife and I are very tight, and she enjoys coming with me. And she's an artist, so she's got a flexible schedule where she could do that.
That's
So,
great.
How did she react to you kind of blowing up? Because you said it was like 2 years ago that things really started to blow up, which leaves you. That's not the person that necessarily she married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because life changes.
Yeah, life changes. We've been together 7 years, but My wife is involved with my career. She kind of takes the lead on the creative, the design stuff. If we have to do a DVD cover, if we have to do a backdrop for a stage, she's heavily involved in that. And we've always kind of been the same couple, but now we just have a little bit more activity around us. So
Right.
it's still good.
So go ahead.
When you have somebody open for you, do you make sure like, okay, I want the guy to be kind of clean? Like you don't want some fucking dirt. You know what I mean? You don't want someone.
What are you looking for, Jimmy? A couple new dates?
Well, no, I do have, but no. It depends on how much time he needs. If anything over 4, I'm gonna let you down. I give you 4 good clean minutes and I'm finished. I start repeating jokes.
No, I don't. Whatever the guy does.
Oh, you don't care?
That's
Okay,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine for me. I don't edit him, or I don't say
Sure.
you can't do this, that, or the other thing. I just kind of get the best guy, whoever's working
Sure.
in the area, and I look at some tapes. I go, yeah, no, this.
Oh,
guy-
you actually watch the
Did I
tapes?
just say tapes?
Yeah.
Because it's 1989.
I look at his videos. I say, yeah, this guy's funny, or this girl's funny. Yeah, bring her on. So yeah, no, I mean. I don't like to have like a really dirty guy.
Sure.
But whatever they're doing, and I think it's funny. Let's do it.
Have you ever had an opener that didn't work where you're like, I got to get rid of this person?
I've had an over where I said maybe we're not going to use this person again.
Sure.
But we just don't call again. But as they're doing their thing, it's I'm kind of always listening to see. I want the person to do good. We do like a good show. People are spending a lot of money.
Right.
Of course, this comes from my father, who is actively involved in my career. Every time I come back to Chicago, he's, like, hey, people are paying $89 a ticket. They want a good show from top to bottom. The opener wasn't so good, so, we got to switch them out.
That's a good point, though. People want the whole fucking thing to be good. You don't want the guy in front of you tanking.
Yeah, I always thought the person was supposed to be really good to kind of get the crowd going, and then you go out and do your thing.
Do you care about the Cubs?
I'm going to the game.
Oh, you are. Okay.
I'm going to. I'm a Sox fan, but World Series and Chicago Cubs, 71 years. You got to go, right?
Which game are you going to?
I'm going to Friday and Saturday.
Have you ever been to Wrigley Field?
Once.
Wrigley
I went
Field.
once. I almost shat my pants. I had to leave because I was doing a comedy festival, the Chicago Comedy Festival. It might have been like 2000, and I'm there and I'm watching the game. And by the 3rd inning, I had like a bunch of coffees, and I'm like, it's time to go. And I had to rush back to the hotel. And
You did?
shit. Yeah.
You can do it in the stadium?
No, it's disgusting. Stadium bathrooms. No, you don't shit in a stadium bathroom
No.
ever.
Would you shit in the stadium bathroom?
I've never done that.
No.
I'm not a big stadium guy.
Right.
I don't do a lot of sports events, but if I had to go, I think I'd pull a Norton. And
Yeah.
Now we're doing a Norton. Kids, get in the car.
That's what it's called. Whenever you leave somewhere to go home and shit, it is called
pulling a Norton?
Or, yeah, pull the Norton.
I got to go drop a Norton.
No.
A shit in the hotel.
No.
Your special that's on Showtime right now. It's on Showtime On Demand right now.
Yeah.
It was filmed. Wait, is it? So you did a 7-night run at the Beacon, right?
Yeah.
And is this special one of those 7 nights, or is it pieced together?
It's one of those 7 nights. We shot 2 of the shows.
Okay.
And we used one, basically the late show on a Saturday, we used that one. And cut a couple jokes in from the first one, which I thought were a little bit better.
Did you
The
wear?
special, by the way, is called "Why Would You Do That?" and it's on now.
Yeah, it's good. Did you wear the same shirt throughout the entire run, just in case, so you had everything?
Double of everything. So I sweat through a shirt, and then we dispose of that shirt, and then we put a new one.
Put the new one back on.
I'm very into clothing.
You are.
That's the strangest question I've ever heard. By the way.
Because it's a 7-night
I know.
run.
I wouldn't have never occurred to me.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And I
that
was
is
like,
cool. You were there
Yeah.
for a week. Did you perspire?
You gotta wear the same shirt every night if you're gonna film a special.
No, but the risk with that is like to do 7. First of all, it's such an amazing run, 7 shows.
At the Bacon. That's the
That's
Allman
incredible.
Brothers.
That's
the Allman
incredible.
Brothers.
Yeah,
you.
it really is. And but to do 7 shows when you're filming 2 of them is scary because what if the Friday early show? Did you have any shows that you're like, fuck, I wish we got that one?
Yeah. You're always. I think you're always gonna have that. You're like, man, the Wednesday night was really good. Actually, the last show, Sunday night, was I think the best show that we didn't get. But we filmed the 2 on Saturday, and I had my 2 shirts ready to go.
Did you?
You've always been a good dresser. Though. I remember one of the first things I noticed about Sebastian years ago. You wore a suit on stage. He looked really really good, and people do respond to that. They're like, well, he looks like he belongs there. It goes a long way with people. They feel like they're not. It just feels like a bigger event.
Yeah, I don't know. I always enjoyed dressing up. I used to wear maybe a suit, but it was too hot, and I like to be a little bit more mobile, so I switched it up a little bit.
But
You
that's
know, the
giving-
younger guys don't do that though. You see them coming on big baggy shorts and shit. They look like they just came from the gym. I saw a kid who was literally wearing gym shorts the other night.
It's Rowan.
Yeah.
Was his name Big Something Okerson?
Actually, it was somebody who looks up to Big J.
Okay.
But and then also they don't go for energy either. Do you notice that? Like the younger guys,
Some of them don't.
They lean back.
Yeah, well, the part of me, I think some of the comedians, if that's naturally who you are, but I think some of them are afraid.
It's a defense mechanism,
I
right?
think so, and they're scared, and they're afraid. That they think that makes them look like, wow, look at this genius, just a conduit for brilliance. Like, they're afraid that if they emote, it looks like they're overselling it, and I think some of them are scared of the audience, and they don't know how to comfortably do it, so they just kind of stand there like dime store India. And, if that's who you are, that's fine, but a lot of them, that's not who they are.
I also have a theory that a lot of the younger comics that do that, like that deliver jokes as if they're not joking, it's a way to do it so that if it doesn't get any laughs, they're like, yeah, I wasn't joking.
Well,
They
safety
just keep,
mechanism, yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
But then why are you standing up there?
yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What's the point?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Well, but you're right about the clothing. Every time I think the clothing, like, wow, it really does help. You look at Dice, who certainly didn't wear a suit, or Kinnison, or Louis, who looks like he just fucking rolled out of bed. Like,
Now he's Suit Boy though.
What's that?
Louis now wearing suits.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he started.
Well, what, on stage?
Yeah, on stage when he does shows now, he said he decided he's an adult.
It gives people that $89 worth. They're paying that much for a ticket. They want to see a guy who's dressed well,
I
who's
don't
there
know.
to perform.
Maybe not. I don't know. I grew up watching Dice, so he was always theatrical in his dress.
Yeah.
New leather coat every special.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
special.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the best Dice leather coat was the MTV Music Awards with the black and white zebra.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It was like a fucking something. It was like a rug in Scarface.
There he is, just like vertical
yeah,
stripes
look
running
at
down. He's the man.
Oh, is that nice? That's
He's
a
the
statement.
man.
He really was. He wore it without shame and comfortably, and it just
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah.
When you did the 7 shows at the Beacon, was it planned, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do these 7 shows? Or you like, let's book a couple shows, and then they sold out. I think we could do another one.
Exactly. We booked 2 shows there, and I think it was 3 at first. We're going to shoot the 2, and then they sold, and then I had another one, and then the demand was such where we ended up doing 7. I didn't plan on doing 7. It just kind of worked out that way, but. New York City's always been a really, really kind of hot spot for me, and
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's great. It
Yeah.
really is. It's
Thank you.
phenomenal. It's
Thank
not
you.
easy to do at
Thank
all.
you.
7 shows in the fucking Beacon. I mean, that's a garden or more. That's more than
Yeah,
a garden. That's
it
like
is.
2 gardens.
Do you think that way, though? Like when you're like, okay, I just did 7 Beacons, are you like, I should be doing arenas?
I'm not an arena. That's not.
You don't wanna?
That's not really where I want to be.
You'd be great in an arena, though. I think that your act would be because you are animated. I think you would be fantastic in an arena.
I appreciate that, but this is my thing with the arena. At least for my fans, I think people are a little more comfortable in a theater setting. It seems like it's a little bit more of a classier an event where a stadium seems, it's a basketball stadium. Maybe the seating is not as comfortable, and the people are high up. They really can't see. Yeah, you got the
Okay.
screens, but I look at it as more of an intimate, no more than 3,000 people. I think for a comedy fan is a little bit more intimate.
I look at it the same way, but I keep it to 100-seat clubs.
I told you. I said you're ready for 125 seaters, and you
I
won't
won't do it. I said everyone here has to leave with some of my DNA on them. But you are right. I guess it does change the dynamic when you're in a massive. I've seen a couple of comedians work. I think I've seen 3 or 4 like in big arenas, and it always seems to work. But they seem to be the right acts for those venues. I imagine if you're not the right act for it, would seem odd or feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess. Is this what you've been working toward? Like, is this how you envisioned things going when you started comedy? Like, I want to be this level of success, or is it, or
The goal
yeah,
was in 1998 when I moved out. I said, I just want to do stand-up comedy for a living. That was the goal.
right?
If I could do this and feed myself, pay the rent, and have a nice little car or whatever it might be, I'd be happy. I didn't really aspire to be like, anything that was, out of the ordinary. I just wanted to do what I enjoyed doing for a living. I was always a shy guy. I was more comfortable with my family and telling stories with my family. I was never a class clown or anything like that. And I just enjoyed getting up in front of the class and making them laugh and then sitting back down.
You're comfortable with your family telling stories like that and just like around your mom and dad, your aunts and uncles?
That's my little audience, especially my mother. If I could make my mother laugh, I feel like that's a nice little seed so we could play with it on stage.
Wow, okay.
That's still your test audience.
Yeah, my mom, if I could get her going, I know that's something I could explore.
Will she give you laughs now? Because I know that you're doing this and be like, oh, yeah, or no?
No, it's more, it's never like, it's very organic with my mother. You're just talking and I'll tell my mom, listen, oh, man, you should use that. And then, and then maybe I'll, but whatever the reason is, with my mother, I have this comfortableness of just telling a story and kind of, the beats kind of work itself out over the phone, talking to her. It's kind of my little stage, I guess.
My family's never said you should use that. I hear things like, "Don't tell anybody that."
Why? I mean, do you have that relationship with your family?
No.
Where you talk and sit around the table and goof around?
No, but it's my fault, not theirs. They're nice people. I'm just a weirdo.
They don't like transvestite stories?
Well, I would never tell one. Transsexuals, well, that's a different story. Dad, you on board? Yeah, they, I don't know. I don't have that. But again, it's not their fault. They're really nice and they'd love it. But I'm just a fucking weird, shame-filled idiot.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So I'm always fascinated. I admire that. Like, I think that's such a nice way to be, to have that comfort level.
Well, you're not this funny guy around your family?
No, I'm a fucking closed-up shell who just wants to hear them talk about them. I don't want to talk about me at all.
Really? Wow.
What have you been up to? Do you really want to ask that question? Or what answer do you want? What have I been up to? Hopefully not catching AIDS.
Is Dennis Falcone still outside? There's a huge fan.
Oh, is he a big
of
Sebastian fan?
Sebastian's.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
He told me yesterday that he was a big fan of yours, and I noticed him 20 minutes ago
I didn't know
outside
that.
the studio door. Yeah, we can bring him in. We can bring him in.
He's a legendary DJ here.
Yeah, Dennis is a legendary DJ. He's previously been banned from the show, but first of all, I love that Dennis's comfort position is just, I'll just share Sebastian's
You're not
mic.
splitting a mic. You got a mic.
There's an empty one right
Jenny, what
there.
are you doing?
Just want to come over and say hello to the guest.
I know that, but you just kind of stood there like you were going to talk in a thin air.
No, he wanted to share a mic with Sebastian. You told me yesterday you're a huge fan, right?
The guy's fantastic. He is one of my top 3 Italian comedians.
Wow.
Top 3 Italian. That's
You break
kinda
them down by
narrowing the-
ethnicity?
Yes.
Pat Cooper.
He's not as funny as the blacks, but
Yeah,
as far as the
exactly.
Italians go.
As far as circumcised guys go, I enjoy him.
Sal Richards
Okay, wow,
Yeah.
old school.
and Sebastian. Number 1.
Wow.
He's,
That's good company.
Because I'm
Thank you.
Italian too, so everything you were talking about in that special, right
You
on.
related to it, right?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Have you seen him live?
No, not live.
good
I
fan.
saw him on TV though.
He did 7 shows at the Beacon. You couldn't get one ticket?
I
You
was
couldn't just go
busy.
buy a ticket? It's 7 shows. He was there around the clock.
Danny likes comps. He doesn't like yeah.
On radio, I should be on the list.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Supposed to be on the list there, you know?
Absolutely.
Do you like non-Italian comedians?
Oh yeah, there's a few good ones.
Who do you like?
What's that? I like
heard
Jim
me.
Norton.
Oh,
Of
come on.
course.
You don't have to say that because I'm right here. Oh, Denny, don't be fresh.
Yeah, I mean, he's just fantastic because everything. I'm from Brooklyn, so you're Chicago, so it's very similar with the Italian people.
Did you grow up with immigrant parents?
My grandparents.
Your grandparents?
Yeah, matter of fact, my grandfather's name's Sebastiano.
Oh, nice.
I'm from Brooklyn, so I love hearing your stories about Chicago.
Yeah, that really was bizarre.
I mean, you got Boston, Philly. The Italians are all the same.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Tomato sauce or gravy?
I've never
Tomato
heard him
sauce.
so
You call it
racist
sauce?
in my life.
People that call it gravy.
I think gravy, I think of brown turkey gravy.
I know,
Absolutely.
but
I think of life. It's all gravy, Denny.
It's all gravy.
That's right.
By the way, all Denny's doing is pointing out differences as he's trying to
Absolutely.
find common ground.
Yes.
no. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
All
very
Italians,
much the same.
they're the same,
When
right?
I hear gravy,
No.
I think what's
Very
running down
succinct.
Denny's leg right now is he's blowing this.
No, I'm nice and clean. No, the reason
He's blowing
we were
it.
watching this special last week, and my wife said, "I like him. He's clean. He's very clean."
right.
You know? Him, Sinbad's very clean also.
Sinbad.
Charlie Callis was very clean.
Do you like
Charlie Callis is the best.
Yeah. He
Do you
was
like
always
that?
on the Dean Martin show.
Yes.
Sebastian, do you like that as like a compliment? Like, oh, you know, I like you because you're clean, or would you prefer to just be a comedian?
No, clean. I like that.
You like clean?
I like clean.
You
Well,
take pride in it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's nice because to be as successful as Sebastian is, or a guy like Gaffigan who is also very funny. Being clean, some guys are clean or cornballs, but then there's guys who are clean who are legitimately funny. It's really hard to do.
Right,
It's
right.
hard to be that good for that long without going into so many different areas. I mean, it's not easy.
That's what you respect, Dennis, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so because it's tougher to be clean, and funny.
All right. Well, that's a
tough.
direct shot at Jim Norton, but go on.
No,
but
I'm
he's-
just saying he's a
he's not-
different style
he-
comedian. I couldn't take my wife to see Jimmy.
Whoa.
She'd
I'm
probably
so-
leave with me.
That's why.
She'd be smart to leave with anybody.
So I would just say I love the guy. He's funny as hell, but
Yeah.
it's not her cup of tea.
Yeah, but you should continue relating to Sebastian. That was fun.
So what
That
else
was
is the
fun.
same between Chicago
Yes.
and Brooklyn and all
exactly.
Italians?
So is your family members of the IRA as well?
No, he was talking. He was talking about his grandmother making the macaroni in the basement.
Yeah, we
I
call
don't
it-
call it pasta. I call it macaroni.
Well, we call it pasta. But
Okay, another difference. That's okay. That's good. Yeah, that's good.
So, but my grandparents used to make the wine in the basement.
Oh, yeah, we didn't.
All for 7.
Well, maybe we're just like a little different. But are you Calabrese, Sicilian, Bades? What are you?
Sicilian, and my mother's family's from Napoli.
Oh,
And you?
And how about you?
I'm Calabrese
Of course
and
you are.
Sicilian.
Oh, okay.
So you have very, very little in common with
Nothing in
Sebastian.
common.
He's got that gene. You know what I'm saying? That gene.
Oh, yeah.
So your parents came right over.
My father came when he was 15. My mother was born in the United States. So we were more Americanized than anything else. But to speak to your point, my grandparents were the type of grandparents where they lived in the basement, they cooked in the basement. It was all about food and
Real immigrants, yeah.
Real
so
immigrants.
Do you go back over at all, or no? Have you ever been over?
my father and I went back to Sicily for the first time I've ever been in 6 years, and the first time he's ever gone back in 50.
Just you and him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we went back to where he grew up, and he said, "This is where I played foosball, and this is where I learned how to play soccer." And I'm an emotional guy, right? I'm like, I had to take like a knee. I was a little emotional.
Were you really?
And he was nothing affected him. I go, nothing, no crying here. This is your. He goes, nah, this is just I'm in shock that I'm back in Sicily. So that trip, he has now gone back every year since. So.
Wow.
I would never get emotional going to my dad's old neighborhood. I'd be like, let's get out of here, Dad. There's a lot of blacks. Newark, no, Jersey City. No, the neighborhood's changed, Dad. Let's get out of here.
We got to wrap the show up for the day.
Why?
You know what? This thing though of having that chance to go back with your dad to Sicily, it's just unbelievable. And after you get to kill somebody, and then you jump back on the plane, you got your button now, and everything's all worked out.
Everything's good.
Your family ever do that?
No,
No, we don't talk about
We
that.
went to a wedding once though, and Joe Colombo was there, old Italian gangster.
Yeah.
And my father told me don't go bother him.
Oh, no, I wish you were having a meal with him.
bother him. He said don't bother him at all. But we grew up in Brooklyn where there was a lot of those wise guys. They used to work, not work at all, and they used to sit in front of the social clubs. Remember John Gotti would talk about the
Dennis,
social
Dennis.
clubs?
Remember before, like we
So-
let
He's wrapping up.
I was
So-
wrapping up, and Ron had
So
a
wait a
line,
minute.
and,
Did you ever? Did Denny almost get involved in the mafia?
No, so I would see, my
Were you
dad.
almost
my,
a mobster?
My dad and I would walk, during
No.
the day when he was off. I said, Dad, how come these guys
go
don't
nowhere.
work during the day? And they would just sit on chairs and drink and play cards. He goes, don't bother them, don't talk to them.
It's the working man. That's the real hero,
So
son.
it was very similar to Bronxdale.
Yeah, that's right.
You ever
That's
seen
right.
Chaz
Line from it.
Palminteri?
And would they try to? Would they try to
Bronxdale, that
seduce
takes
you?
place in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very similar.
Would they try to
Italians.
seduce you, and your father would go, "Hey, don't talk to my daughter"?
Well, listen.
Denny was almost a fucking mobster.
He was, he
I'm gonna
was.
get into this more with Denny during the week.
Are you
We
going to
will.
be back home for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
Dennis.
Yeah, because
He's got to wrap up. He's
Dennis,
on
you can
11
come
o'clock.
over.
He's trying to connect
my-
with. He's
my
forgotten
mother-
all his radio lessons.
My mother makes fresh sauce. She doesn't buy that ragu or anything. It's fresh sauce.
And now you drop
come
gravy.
over.
You got nothing
What's
in
that?
common,
He
Dennis.
said sauce. We just
You have
said
nothing in
sauce.
common.
We're Italian.
You have to deal
We're
with that.
Sicilian. He's
You're
part
not
Sicilian.
connecting. You didn't connect.
That's right. Guy's making $8 million a year. He doesn't want to eat stuff your mom made in the basement.
Yeah.
She put her own feet in this. Have a sip.
Like the stuffed. She makes the stuffed mushrooms.
Dennis!
artichokes.
Dennis!
Yeah.
We're done.
The spadinas,
Dennis!
the veal where you wrap up with the toothpick. You ever have those? The spadinas? They call them veal rollatini, the Americans. The spadinas.
Sebastian, you think you're going to hang out with Dennis outside of this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought so. too.
Sebastian Sebastian special.
Yes.
On Showtime now, available on demand. It's Why Would You Do That? It's his new special, which he shot here in New York at the Beacon.